Hi, it's Terry Edwards here from Make More Placements. We're the guys that recruitment and search firm owners go to when they want to generate more leads, make more placement, and earn more money. And today I want to talk to you about reverse selling for recruiters and how to win retainers and the fees that you deserve, even in this changing market. Here's the bad news, first of all. Many recruitment firms will close over the next 12 months. Now, that might sound dramatic, but it's a reality for a lot of recruiters right now. In the next 3 years or so, 90% of recruiters will either close or completely reinvent themselves. And that's not because hiring managers have stopped hiring, by the way. Let's be absolutely clear about that. It's because the market is changing. That's what we're going to be talking about. So here's what the market's saying right now. Why would I pay 20% for CVs that we can find ourselves? Got the point, really. Let me put this another way. A man walks into a market and he sees two stalls side by side, both selling suitcases. One has a handwritten sign on it, only £20 or $20. The other has a sleek display, polished cases and no price shown. The man walks up to the cheap stall and asks, "Is this any good?" The seller shrugs. "It's cheap, isn't it? You wouldn't better go next door." So the man goes next door and he picks up the suitcase. It's sturdy, silent wheels, waterproof, feels like quality. He asks the price. The seller replies, £200 or $200. But it does come with a lifetime guarantee and we will replace it free if anything goes wrong. That case will last longer than any car that you've ever had. Now, here's the question. Which seller are you being in your recruitment business? Are you the one looking to win with cheap and cheerful, or are you the one that's confident enough to stand behind the real value of what you do? Too many recruiters right now acting like the first stall, competing on price, letting the client drive the conversation, apologising for charging more, or saying things like, "Well, we normally charge." What the hell? But what we're going to walk through today is how what your most successful competitors are doing right now, how they're confidently quoting and closing on premium fees on retained or exclusive, and how you can too, without needing to be aggressive or pushy or salesy. Just position yourself different. But it's a mindset. This is a big point I want to make here. It's about the mindset of those recruiters and how they're thinking. See, recruiters love to talk about candidate scarcity or the war on talent, but very few talk about what we call the internal war, the war that's going on in their head. Because it's not just the hiring managers that need a reality check, it's the recruiters who need the right mindset to lead the conversation, push back on unrealistic expectations, charge fees that match the value they bring. This isn't about being aggressive. This is about being professional, confident, and consultative. If you don't believe in your own value that you bring to the table, how can you expect a hiring manager to? So let's look at the mindset required to win respect, not just roles. There's the waitress and there's a consultant. Most recruiters operate like the waitress. They take the job order, they smile, they say yes, and they attempt to deliver whatever the clients ask for, even if the kitchen's on fire and there's no food left. They're polite, reactive, and service-minded. They get treated like order takers, disposable, easy to replace. But the recruiter who consistently wins respect, retainers, and real influence, they don't take orders. They ask questions. They challenge assumptions and they make recommendations. They think like consultants and they're consultative. They control the process instead of being controlled. Question for you. Do you behave like the waitress or the consultative consultant when dealing with hiring managers? When was the last time you challenged a hiring manager's assumption? Right now, many recruiters are putting hiring managers on the pedestal. And there's a saying in business that you've probably heard: never, ever put a hiring manager, a client, a candidate, or anybody on the pedestal. Because the moment that you do, you're giving them permission to look down on you. You really don't want to do that. When you put them on a pedestal, you chase roles like gold dust, you compromise on your fees, you over-deliver with no guarantee of payment, all because you fear losing this client. But here's the honest truth. If you're working 100% contingency with no commitment from a client, you're betting your outcome on a toss of a coin. And worse, you're allowing your value to be negotiated down by someone who doesn't actually understand what you do. The recruitment world's shifting fast. Think of the traditions of recruitment like blockbuster videos. In 1997, Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph founded Netflix. At first glance, it seemed like a niche business, mailing DVDs to customers by subscription model. No late fees, no physical stores. Customers could create a queue of movies online, and the next title on the list would be sent once they returned the previous one. Good idea, or so it would seem. It was slower than walking into Blockbuster, but at the same time, it was also easier and less stressful. By 2000, Netflix had a modest subscriber base and were looking to expand. In an iconic moment in tech and business industry, Netflix approached Blockbuster with an offer to acquire Netflix for 50 million. The then CEO of Blockbuster apparently laughed at the idea. He didn't see Netflix as a serious threat. In hindsight, that decision became a textbook example of strategic misjudgment when innovation was ignored. So what went wrong with Blockbuster? At its core, Blockbuster failed to recognize the disruptive power of Netflix model. This failure stemmed from a combination of arrogance, inertia, and flawed understanding. AI, internal talent teams, and tech tools are doing the same to recruiters. Companies are building internal hiring machines, data-driven, AI-powered, transparent, fast. They're no longer waiting for three recruiters to send through CVs or resumes. They're building engines that attract shortlists and hire in days. They will only partner with consultative recruiters who reverse sell, who add value, and give the hiring manager a competitive edge, not transactional recruiters. Which is one of the reasons why the big contingency agencies right now, their sales have declined by 8% over the last 12 months. 8%. But here's the thing. The big search firms have increased their sales by 6% over the same period. So why are you not winning retainers? Let's be real. The reason most recruiters don't win retainers or premium fees is because they think the market's too competitive, or my clients don't pay retainers in our sector. I hear that every day of the week, or budgets are tight. Here's what the real reason. You sound like any other recruiter. You lead with, we can fill your roles. You sell yourself like a commodity. Or you don't know how to sell retainers. I want to be clear, if you don't know how to sell retainers, it's not your fault you've never been shown how to. Reverse selling flips this completely. Instead of you selling, you're going to get the hiring managers to buy. Instead of you chasing clients and pitching, you're going to diagnose. Instead of trying to prove your worth after the job starts, you position yourself as a strategic partner before you even agree to start working on it. Think about this for a minute. You've got a bit of a cold, you go along to your doctor. You knock on the surgery door, and the doctor says, come in. As you walk in, the doctor, she's sitting there at the desk looking at the computer. She doesn't even look up at you. And she says to you, get behind the screen, take off your clothes, and I'll be with you in a minute. You would be mortified. You would be pissed. How can you tell me to take all my clothes up and get behind the screen? I haven't even told you what my problem is. Do you know what? That's what many recruiters, they call the hiring manager. They say, you don't know me and I don't know you, but let me tell you all about me and what we do and how long we've been in business and what our mission statement is and the size of our database. The hiring manager couldn't care less. Reverse selling is about leading the client instead of being led. Instead of the client saying, here's the role, and the recruiter pitching, the client controlling the process and the feed getting squeezed, you create the conversation upstream. You uncover their business pains, not their hiring needs. See, most hiring managers, they don't want a recruiter. They want the solutions that a recruiter provides. That's what you want to be talking about. Example, we work with a recruiter quite recently in the fintech sector who switched from their opening line of cold calling and asking hiring managers, have you got any roles that we could work on? And they did this instead. They identified hiring managers that were going to hire next week, next month, next quarter. And rather than saying, can we fill your roles, because the roles weren't even open yet, they were asking questions like, where are you trying to grow in your business right now? What's stopping you from growing? What's the implications if you don't get that right? Simply by asking those kind of consultative questions, Within 3 months, they went from never ever winning to retainers to winning 6 retainers at fees of 30%. But they stopped pitching and they started diagnosing. And this is where the Apex system comes in. To win retainers consistently, you must master these 3 growth areas. Attention. You've got to find the hiring managers before they're ready to hire and build authority in a pipeline before you need it. Understand that the selling of retainers starts before you meet the hiring manager. Like anything, most things that you purchase, the decision's made before you actually go into the store to buy it. You've been looking for some time. You've got some idea who you're going to buy it from. Buying retained doesn't start when you just cold call them and tell them that you're a great recruiter. It starts before you meet them by implementing marketing campaigns so they know who you are. You position yourself as a go-to growth partner in their niche. And the next one is conversion. Master the reverse selling conversation. Use a 2-step close technique. So rather than on the very first call, trying to close them into buying from you, on the first call, have what we call a triage call, where it's purely fact finding, where you ask a series of questions to establish if they're a good fit for you. Because here's the thing, you're not here to work with everybody. You should decide who you work with, when you work with them, and what the fee should be. The purpose of the first call is to see if they qualify to work with you. Frame the retainers as a logical solution to their commercial pain, not as a recruitment upgrade, not as that it helps you with your cash flow, because again, the hiring manager couldn't care less. All they care about is their problem. Frame it that you're going to solve their problem. Execution, deliver like a pro. Control the client relationship. So they rely on you for strategy, not CVs. It's a bit like being either you're going to build a skyscraper. You can either be the architect or you can be the bricklayer. Would you rather be the bricklayer, paid by the hour, replaceable at any time, or the architect, paid up front, respected, and leading the vision? Most recruiters are still laying the bricks, reacting to roles, competing on fees, fighting over scraps. Reverse sellers are architects, designing the solution and getting paid retainers and setting the terms. Fact, recruitment is not dying, it's evolving. The search firms and recruiters that thrive will be the ones who elevate themselves from CV vendors to the consultative partner. Reverse selling isn't a tactic, it's a mindset shift. It's how you win retainers, premium fees, and long-term relationships in a changing market. If you want to stop chasing and start leading, this is a moment to make the shift. And it's happening on Wednesday, the 15th of October at 1500 UK time, 3 p.m. UK time. Now, this normally retails for about £900 or about $1,100, but this is absolutely free and it's packed with real systems that you can use immediately. The reverse selling system for recruitment and search business owners. How smart recruiters get hiring managers begging to work with them on retained or exclusive. If you're done for working for free with your clients not valuing what you do and you want respect and you want commitment, join the new area of recruiters. Be the architect, not the bricklayer. Go to the link below or go to makemoreplacements.com/OC, which is OCT hyphen bootcamp registration. That's makemoreplacements.com/OCT-bootcamp-registration. Places are limited because it is free and we normally charge for it. So there's only a few places left. So go and reserve your place ASAP, and I'll see you on the other side. Until next time, take care, take action, and be relentless.